Hello, friends. Welcome back to the AI Empowered series, the complete guide to AI in your personal and professional lives. Today, we're going to be taking the next step in our AI transformation journey by talking about how are we actually going to be integrating AI into our lives in both our personal lives, but also into our professional tasks and workflows. I want to talk about a framework for identifying, integrating, and transforming your life with AI. In my career in project management, in digital transformations across healthcare and education and government, I've found that breaking down processes and understanding the best ways to do things is just a really powerful, fundamental tool in your toolbox as a professional. But, you know, it's also really powerful in AI. I've helped organizations integrate AI into their operations through this method, and I want to empower you with that as well. So, the biggest barrier to AI integration isn't just knowing how to use it, but it's knowing where to use it. I want to give you an integrate workflow which helps you to find those use cases that are at the highest point of impact in your life where AI can fit into and really enhance your personal and professional lives, enhance you as a person. So I want to talk about the integration challenge that a lot of people run into with AI. It's hard when you have something so general and so powerful as AI. It's hard to know where to start, but I want to help you systematically bring AI into different parts of your life so that you're much more capable, that you have higher quality output, you're more efficient, and just really use this revolutionary technology to its fullest. Building your AI conversation mastery from the previous modules, the next challenge is incorporating it daily. That's what I recommend for people who are just getting into these tools. Use them almost every day so that you evolve alongside with them and you practice that iterative refinement as you integrate. So some key points to this are a lot of people try to revolutionize their entire workflow all at once. They get mediocre results and then they give up and say AI is just useless and full of hallucinations and all these negative things. But effective integration requires identifying specific places and uses in your life and then applying the techniques and the skills that we've developed up until this point. The successful integration really maintains your current productivity while gradually building AI enhanced capabilities. So it's not worth it to integrate AI into your life if it's just going to cause you more trouble and slow you down. You want to be able to analyze how much effort is going into the AI work and evaluate if it's worth it for you in that use. The goal is workflow evolution, not revolution. You're not breaking down your workflows and completely changing them. You're integrating AI into the fabric of who you are and your profession. I'm really excited to share with you this integrate workflow. And I mentioned it earlier, but it's actually an acronym for how are you going to move from, identifying to evolving. So I'm going to run through the integrate acronym with you now. So I is identify. So map your current workflow and pinpoint AI opportunity areas. N is navigate. Choose specific integration points that offer maximum value with minimum disruption. T is test. Pilot AI tools in low risk, high impact areas. E is evaluate. Measure productivity, impact, and refine integration approach. G is gradually expand AI use systematically as competence builds. R is replace. So only substitute existing tools after proving superior AI alternatives. Automate. Build AI-enhanced processes that become your new standard. T is transform. So scale the success integrations across your broader workflow. And then evolve. Continuously optimize that human AI collaboration system across all of your workflows. This integrate framework takes you from identifying to evolving. So really look at your life and where you can integrate AI and follow this framework so that you can really start to build AI into the fabric of who you are. So how can we map our workflows? So before using any AI tool, you need to understand what it is that you're doing in the first place. I think when I consult with a lot of businesses, unfortunately, it exists everywhere. There's just broken processes and broken workflows. And you might be able to resonate with that when, you're doing something in your work and it doesn't really make sense and no one really knows why you do it that way, but you just go ahead and do it because that's how the organization tells you to do it. And, I find that when you start to apply these AI techniques, it forces you to really examine the context and the processes that you're already operating within and start to understand how to optimize and improve those things just by breaking them down. I want you to look at these workflows, get a clear understanding of where AI can add value within the existing process. Look at the process documentation, map your typical daily, weekly, monthly work patterns, identify the time that it takes to do those things, and that presume a disproportionate amount of time relative to value created. Look at these decision points, these critical moments where you locate areas requiring information analysis, content creation, problem solving. Identify those as points for human in the loop, identify where AI can enhance those decisions. And then look for repetition. So find patterns that reoccurring tasks that AI can maybe be able to handle or enhance to improve your productivity. So the workflow mapping exercise is something where you look at energy draining tasks. So administrative work, information gathering, routine communication, all things that AI can be really effective at. Look for time-intensive activities, things that take up a lot of your time, and see how you can enhance those with AI. Look up creative challenges. Look where you need to be present in this workflow, and then if AI has any place in that. And then look for quality bottlenecks. So review processes, error checking, and consistency maintenance. Make sure that at the critical points in which your workflow is making a quality assurance, make sure that you're there evaluating AI if it's part of that process. This workflow kind of allows you to identify and break down that process and map out where AI can fit into all of those things. So how do we select where we put AI after we've identified things? I think it's important to understand that not all AI opportunities are worth pursuing. So you really have to have this strategic selection that ensures maximum impact with minimal disruption, especially when you're starting out. These tools are emerging and they're not perfect. So try to identify those low risk, high impact areas that you can try AI out in and get some quick wins. Another effective approach is to find existing pain points, target areas where current processes are already frustrating or inefficient, and see if AI can come in and give you that another kind of quick win for these current pain points. Look for measurable outcomes. Choose integration points where improvement can be clearly quantified so that you can drive change within your life and organization by seeing that clear impact. And then equally important, you need to find changes that are easily reversible. So when you're experimenting with AI, you need to find places where you can roll back without a lot of effort if you're not finding that it's working. So you need to build that trust within your own use and organizations so that when you try it, it doesn't discourage you or others from using AI when it could actually be implemented effectively. But you've broken that trust early in the chain and made it much more difficult to get progress with AI. So these integration points are really key to your journey and how you are growing with AI. You don't want to make a mistake of picking the wrong place to integrate AI and either run into poor results or break that trust, which then just puts you back in your AI transformation journey. So I want to talk about the beginning of this journey, and that's when you're piloting AI tools and making sure that you're not creating productivity loss. So that successful AI integration, it really requires the testing that maintains current productivity while exploring new capabilities. So you want to look at parallel processing, run AI alongside existing methods initially, not as immediate replacements, and document the effort it takes for both different processes. If you're finding that you can't get the process to improve productivity with AI, then it's a good indication that you should move on to a different use case. Look at time-boxed experiments. So limit initial AI trials to specific timeframes with clear success criteria so that you can identify quickly if you're going to pursue this method or not. Focus on backup systems, things that aren't at the front of your business, especially customer or stakeholder facing, so you can start to experiment and refine your organizational capabilities with AI and then move them into those front-facing aspects of your company. But maintain these traditional methods in this background that we've developed in these modules and then move them forward once you have them dialed in and they can move into those more high-risk areas. And really make this a gradual transition. This is an emerging technology, like I said, it's getting better, and you want to build the capability now so that you're ready for these tools just integrating more and more into society. So this approach really allows you to identify pilots and start your journey. I want to talk now about measuring the success criteria of AI outputs. And it really becomes clear when AI is working, when you can start to quantify effect, time saved, revenue generated, these growth metrics that every business is looking at. Look at your KPIs and your processes and know how AI impacts these metrics. Understand what you need to test and then run these parallel processes with AI and see what is the difference between these traditional method and AI enhanced method. So I'm thinking about productivity metrics, quality metrics, efficiency metrics, and strategic metrics. Track them daily, weekly, monthly. Try to keep a real record of how AI is impacting your business. You may be able to find some really surprising results that compound over time if you're tracking in a really sophisticated manner. So put a lot of effort and detail into tracking the impact. I think you'll find it's really exciting to see this exponential growth curve appear over time as your organization becomes capable and all of these different techniques that we've discussed start feeding into each other. So build these AI enhanced standard operation procedures as your capability increases. Once that integration proves successful, start creating these standard processes that everybody understands where AI is being used and what matters. So document those processes with step-by-step procedures that include optimal AI setup. Make quality checklists so that everybody can develop this verification standard that ensures that AI enhanced outputs meet your needs. Look at the efficiency protocols, that exist and establish workflows that maximize AI capabilities while maintaining those important human oversight moments. And then really focus on that continuous improvement that builds feedback loops that refine AI integration based on the experience that you've had. Some standard operating procedure elements include the preparation phase, the execution phase, the review phase, and the implementation phase. Consider all of these important phases when you're building these SOPs and how AI is helping you do that as well. AI enhanced standard operating procedures are really powerful because they radiate that knowledge about how your organization does things, particularly in how you use AI. So it can be scaled across different members, across departments, and it can be a really powerful engine for the growth that you want with AI. So don't overlook these. Make sure that they're clearly documented and really tell everybody why everything is happening so that you can drive that impact and get the buy-in from your team. So how can we scale things successfully within an organization after you've proved the value? Because unfortunately, I think we can individually see value in something in a workflow, and then we can go to our management and maybe try to, prove and, get this new enhanced way of doing things to scale across the organization. And we just kind of get shut down. So I really want to focus on this change management aspect of this piece of scaling within an organization, because you can really advance your career if you approach this in a sophisticated way, meeting your manager or the C-suite with what they need. So I want you to think about pattern recognition in proving success. So identify where AI can really work best and provide consistent results and prove those results. Focus on standardizing that approach, creating templates for the development of these processes so that it can be repeatable and that value that you've proven can be consistently expected and executed on. So there's this scaling strategy that I want to discuss now. Focus on that strategic leverage that you get with AI. What are you doing to master AI within the organization? How are you capturing those learnings, that improvement process, and then feeding it back into the beginning of this process so that organizational capability expands and scales exponentially? You want the AI transformation to happen at all levels of the organization, across all teams. You want to drive that growth, not just from the, bottom up, but, have the leadership set clear expectations about how we're using AI to execute and have everybody buy into this transformation that is occurring. It can be a tricky thing with all the fear of AI and misinformation that's existing in the market at the moment. But, organizations are going to change regardless of what is happening with fear. You need to develop your employees to shift their mindset to be empowered by AI and enhanced so that you're ahead of other organizations who may be lagging behind because they're making mistakes along this process. So I want to talk more about an advanced workflow optimization framework. It's where you create successful AI integration and you can pursue these sophisticated approaches of process automation. So like chaining multiple AI capabilities into comprehensive workflow solutions, using it as predictive enhancer. So use AI to anticipate needs and prepare resources proactively. Tap into quality amplification. So really combine multiple AI tools to achieve higher quality standards than you're normally used to when you're doing it manually. And then really develop this strategic intelligence. So use AI to now analyze and inform broader business decisions and career planning. So these approaches can really start to chain together AI capabilities so that they're operating in these different ways in your business. And so how do we actually integrate this into our personal or business roadmap? Seek out immediate action. Use that integrate framework to identify the first 3 integration opportunities that you're going to tackle, and then develop a plan to integrate these into your life and your business, let's say over 90 days, and track as best as you can all of these different areas in which you're using as that refinement and continuous improvement. And then evaluate and then do it again. Scale. Start to think about how you're expanding on your capabilities. So I hope you've learned something today about how we can integrate AI into our lives. It does take this approach of holding yourself accountable to these best practices so that you're really doing yourself a service by the effort you're putting into AI. It's true in AI as well as life that you get what you put in. AI is not magic that it's just going to give you everything with very little effort. You do need to put in some sort of effort to set yourself up for success. And I think that's an important principle to take away in life, but it's really key to this module. So let me know what you're thinking about how you're integrating AI into your life. I'm really interested in how people find these ways to identify where they use it and then dive deep into it. Find something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy diving into, because that's when you'll really find you'll have fun with AI. When you start to do something interesting, so you're developing something that you already are passionate about, and you can see where AI is good at, where it has limits, and then you can start this whole integrate process. Well, take a look at the links in my description to learn more about me, gain access to my books that I've written on these subjects, and just join my community as we develop these ideas together. So can't wait to see what you do with this knowledge, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.